Hello, brothers and sisters. I'm like, welcome to my page, common sense. My page is about common sense. My page is about common sense. I try to keep it down and then to get it under 10 minutes. If it goes over 10 minutes, it's something very, 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 very important. And not important to liberals, libertarians, people believe in God, people like to smoke, people like to drink, people like AWASA, people like DMT. Listeners' discretion is advised. These videos are not pertaining to the masses of asses. And if you're not a part of the masses asses, then welcome to your doom. Welcome to your doom. I'm Kumar Jack. But of course, I am a Kumar. Please understand, there's magic involved coming down my rabbit hole. No homo. Let's get on with the topic today. If you have any comments, questions, insults, or roast, you put it down below. What did I just say? If you have any comments, questions, insults, or even roast, you put it down below. Now, this video is going to be pertaining to those who ridicule gaming. So much to talk about, so little time. We only live less than 100 years old. When I was younger and I started playing gaming at the age of 7 to 8 years old, I realized it took me to another world, another place. When I first started gaming, it was when in the 80s, it came out, it was called the Vertrex. That black cube-looking box, rectangular box, and you get on the bottom, and you can pull it out, and you had the buttons on there. Asteroids came on it, Pac-Man came with it, and stuff like that. I didn't know nothing about those things. That blew my motherfucking mind. As I was playing, my mother and everyone else around me was always curious of why I spent so much time on it. And then I learned, I said, I always asked questions when I was a kid. I said, why aren't they interesting as much? They're not interested as much than they are. And, why aren't they not interested into video games as much as I am? And so I believe that since none of my families were actually gamers, I believe that I was special, okay, automatically from that point on. And on top of that, I started hearing the voices of God, okay, which basically God is everywhere. God is who you are. God is everything you see. But other than that, I'm not going to talk about my schizo side of what happened, okay? You can search that if you want. But video games to me help me to go into other realms of dimensions in time and space. I also created some games. Believe it or not, I'm the one who created Life Force and Metroid. Okay? I'm actually the one. When I was younger, I remember I wrote like a 4-page story, okay, on how to create a story for a game. And I sent it to Japan, and my mom paid for it. My mom probably don't remember, because I told her these 2 things I wanted to be mailed to Japan. And I told them, I want you to make it whatever you can. I thought all the games came from Japan at that time when I was younger. Because I could see on there it says from Japan, from Japan, from Japan. I'm like, oh, okay, it ain't from the USA? So that means Japanese are a bit more far on the fantasy side than in America. Isn't that crazy? But I was an avid person who did watch Thundercats and Transformers and G.I. Joe in America. Yes, indeed. Even GoBots, I remember them. But then what I learned as I was playing the games, there was a little tiny story at each of every story. Ninja Gaiden, I played it. Kid Icarus, Battle of Olympus, Guardian Legends, I played all Atari 2600, Bunk's Adventure, TurboGrafx 16, a whole list of games, more than most of you guys can ever comprehend. But of course, I learned that I could be able to do things that other people could not do. I could be able to think a certain way because other people could not think. I thought outside the box. And, video games actually open your third eye, as a matter of fact. It does, because you'll be seeing some horrendous type of creatures and monsters that you can possibly fathom. But none of my brothers or sisters played with me. Only I played. But what I learned is that my aiming got better. My mind got better. I loved Greek mythology. I got straight A's in that class. It was like everything fictional and fantasy blew my mind away. And then when I would talk about these things with people, people would think, where are you getting these stories from? I said, have you heard of Greek mythology before? Have you ever read History Just Itself, where Christopher Columbus have sold the ocean blue? Nobody remembers those things. Nobody cares about those stories. Hell, there was a great war between the Zulus and the Europeans and The British, okay, you don't know none of them stories. Just keep it simple. My mind could not comprehend so much stories and the lores and the stories I have read in a video game, but it was also externally. But those who downplay video games are very low-minded individual species. And those people say it's just a waste of time. Whatever they're doing is also a waste of time. So I would use philosophy on top of the fact that when people say video games are for children, I say talking to women is for children because most women can't comprehend how men think. So why are you talking to a woman? And then on top of that, I say religion is for children because it's just nothing but a storybook, right? So then I will ask questions and literally get popped for it, okay? Because I would make so much sense that people would just throw me off as me being a delusional. But now I'm telling them, you're delusional. How do you know? Okay. I learned how to drive through video games. I learned how to shoot through video games. As a matter of fact, I shot a bow and arrow for the first time. I shot the target right in the middle. Bullseye. My Uncle Rob. He saw it. But of course, I was focused. And he helped me adjust my aim. And of course, you got to coordinate if there was wind or not no wind, because it can change up the shot. But of course, I learned how to drive entirely because of video games. I'm a natural born talent when it came. I had to teach my own self how to ride my own bike. Because my own coordination, my own reflexes. Because video games have taught me to have reflexes beyond the normal comprehension of most humans. That I don't even try to bother. I remember fighting bigger people than me when I was smaller, when I was in school and stuff. And then when I actually beat my giant of Goliath individual, like David and Goliath, I finally figured, what the hell is going on here? So I refused to fight people. I said, I will whip all your asses at the same time. But they won't want to fight me because they think they will win, but they're not. I'm Batman. But other than that, the fallacy of people saying gaming is for children is that means they are a child themselves. That's all it means. It doesn't matter what your particular field is. If you're into something that has multitasking involved at the same time, coordination and also reflex and also memorization, that's higher than video games. Are you out of your mind? When you're, let me tell you, video games are higher than trying to create your own business. Okay, because the only thing you're doing when you're trying to create a business for yourself is you're trying to do multiple things at once. You're trying to get this over here, but you got to have enough startup capital. With video games, you don't need startup capital. You just need a little bit amount of money to purchase the game, right? So there's less overhead, less worries, okay? Now, when you're doing things in real life, it can be far more stressful. So that means video games beat trying to make $1 million. Video games beat trying to make $1 billion. Because if you make $1 million and you're not really a gamer, okay, something's wrong. Something's wrong. If you're trying to make $1 million and you're not a gamer, something's wrong. Because that's all you have in your life. I could say if you was trying to be a millionaire to get all of the video games in the world, because that's the most entertaining thing you can do. You can get paid playing video games. It helps your mind and mental coordination and your reflexes. Overall, more than anything else. Now, I know a lot of people may say, okay, there's some things you can do when you're fixing a car, and there's things you can do when you're making a gun, okay? But what can defeat a video game? How can you do that? You can have sex in a video game. Everything is digitized, okay? People are always on their phones. Most people who are narcissistic don't use the phones for any gaming entertainment at all. They'll try to play Candy Crush, and that's their rush right there, Candy Crush rush. But I don't see no fun in playing no Candy Crush. But that's all I really wanted to say, you guys. People who look down on games are children themselves, because there's a big amount of psychological improvements that you can make on yourself just by playing games, not anything else. I learned how to use computers through video games. How about them apples? Wow, moving things left and right. I know how to level up and get stronger through video games. I learned how to live in nature through video games. Video games give you everything you possibly need in life. How to survive in video games. There's a story and there's a lore. I played the biggest game ever. And it was The Witcher 3. When I played the game, I learned so much. I learned so much about how to be in the woods. You have to be a mutant to live in the woods, and you got to do this, you got to do that. I learned so much stuff. It just comes second nature. Okay, well, I'm watching YouTube. Okay, and everything on the phone. Okay, phones is just the future of mankind. To do something, make something with yourself. Life is too short to be have all this overhead, and you don't even want to play no games. You just want to socialize all of the fucking time. That's boring. I want to play a game. I want to play some sports outside or something. Do something active. wait. I'm not your average, man. You know I was gonna say it. I'm not your average, man. I'm not your average. I get so many women hitting me up about my lips. I said, I ain't gonna suck your pussy. The fuck out of here, bitch. I'll suck your pussy for a fee. You gonna pay me? Okay, then we can talk something. Go into my inbox. Check me out down there. Suck your pussy. Suck your used pussy. You think so? You may think I'm gonna suck it, but you gonna be blindfolded when we be fucking. Okay. we gonna be blindfolded. I've seen some porn on there where some women was blindfolded and they wouldn't know what they was sucking and they didn't care. And you ain't gonna be high when you fucking with me. You gonna be wet when you blindfold. Okay, don't worry about that. Cause all I'm gonna do is smack it. Okay, smack it. Vapor rub it, ice it, throw some ice cubes at that bitch. Okay, ice cubes at that large Libya. The clap back. Okay, the clap back. You want a clap back? I give you a clap back, but it might break. I might break something back there, in there. Okay, you don't understand who the hell I am. I'll blow your shit. You'll be swollen. You'll have a sore in a spot where it's not supposed to be, and it won't be able to heal because you'll always be thinking about me because I did it. I broke the barriers. But of course, you don't know what I'm talking about. It's okay. Other than that, video games. Anyone who talks about video games, okay, sucks. Okay, trust me, they suck. I said, what are you doing in your fucking life? I'm playing fucking Genshin Assault, okay? I'm playing fucking Borderlands. What are you playing? What are you doing? Yeah, the motherfuckers ain't doing shit except smoking weed, getting STDs, and sitting in their cars that's watching boring-ass TV. But it may not be boring, depending on what they watch. But other than that, that's all I really want to say, you guys. Those who look down on video games, you should be ashamed of yourself. Even men, any man, they be saying, okay, we need to get rid of video games because them motherfuckers suck too much pussy. They do a Bloody Mary. They don't do nothing in their life. They just have nothing else to do. They just like a feminist. You have to watch them guys who are like feminists. I seen a couple of them. They're very fruity, and they don't like what men like to do, and they do what women like to do. Life is like a box of chocolates. Let me get on out of here. Peace.